What's going on, guys? Welcome to Big Beard and Friends, episode 234. Now, what does that mean? That means 234 weeks you have seen me. But tonight, I want to talk about some things, but I'm also going to talk about 13 facts from the Friday the 13th movie. Now, there were some facts in there that I didn't even know, but truth is, I had like 17 to choose from. A good friend of mine, my little brother, called me this morning, and we were talking, and while we're talking and conversating, we're like, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do for the show. He's like, oh, do something Halloween, do something this, do the Friday the 13th theme, do this, and I was like, wait a minute, what, I was like, what did you say? And before I could even give him the what did you say moment over the phone, he simply said, look, there you go, 13 facts. There you go. And I was like, wait a minute. 13 facts for the Friday the 13th movie. And, it's kind of the rest was written. So we're going to get to that tonight as well. So here in the next 29 minutes, I want you to join me on some things. First and foremost, like I say at every show, every time I start here lately, I wanna talk about some things for a moment. There's people right now who are going through it. Man, are we going through it bad. They're going through these, I always say, hard times and sorrows, struggles and strifes. We don't have to look far to see somebody or to know somebody if you're not struggling or dealing with something yourself. Now, here lately I've been having conversations with friends and everyone I can think of when it comes to positiveness has came lately, it seemed, and been literally delivered to me in the sense that they were like, here, what's up? Here's your friend. This is what's going on. This is what I want. And, I've had friends lately call me and say, look, would you help me out on a topic and a subject? And I've been like, wow, this is amazing here lately. Nobody would believe. And I'm not going to call these people out because that's my friend. Some of the best things you can do is help people and not show. So even though I'm telling you the story, it doesn't matter the situation. But for someone to say that they get inspired by you or they, called you or they ask you for help in a way that they think just talking can help them, that is a very, very cool thing. There's so many of us, and I say these things like a broken record, the proverbial, I beat a dead horse over and over and over when I say people left and right are going through ups and downs. And I'm telling you right now, you don't know what a smile, you don't really know what a acknowledgement, you don't really know what just a conversation can do. And like my good friend Duncan Raven from the United Kingdom says, simply say hello. Just say hello. Just saying that to people, just telling people, hello. And then start a conversation. Go to them with an open mind and look at something and say something, and let it be positive. Let it be nothing negative. Because I will tell you, I can get serious, and then I get real serious, and then I start getting to where I'm thinking serious, like that's all that I can do. And I know for a fact, some people watching, some people that will hear this, some people that I told to tune in for just tonight, I know will be watching this. Thank you already. Whenever it is you see this, you watch this, whatever it may be. We don't have to pay to be kind. We don't have to pay to say hello. You don't have to, it doesn't need to cost you anything to look at someone and say something nice. So many people are struggling. They're looking for that smile, that wink, that nod, that pat on the back, that hug. People are looking for it. People want that encouraging word. They want that kind word. believe it or not, so many of us, even me, I say us, I keep saying we and us, I'm included in this. So many of us just want to conversate with someone. And if you're like me and that's all you do is talk, let me tell you something. Find somebody who will listen. Some people need to hear what you have to say. You have to go through ups and downs in order to have a story. But listen here, you have to be tested to have a testimony. And I just recently had this conversation with someone. I'm supposed to, in my world and where I'm from, be a disciple and lead them to the church and lead them to Christ, and He'll do the rest. And I'm going to tell you, here lately that's been happening. If you're not a religious person, don't be a religious person. I don't have hate. I'm not going to spew hate. I'm talking for me. It's everything under the sun, including the sun. If you are a religious person, if you do go to church, if you don't go to church, if you don't even pray, the simple story of lately I have been taking people's lives, me, in help, and they have poured into me and I have poured into them, and we have changed each other. It's a wonderful feeling. But let me tell you something. Being kind, being gentle, being understanding to people will go a long way. Simply acknowledging someone for what they do is not always enough. Now, does everybody need a message like this? No. You can look at me and say, Blake, grow up. Nobody really gives a shit. We don't care right now. Look at you. Oh, you need some cookies. It's called the real world, Blake. Those people make me laugh. The tough asses. The real tough asses. You're so hard. You're such a man, and you're such a grown, tough person that mere words offend you. Get over yourself. Just because I look like I eat small children don't mean that I don't have a heart. Don't mean that I can't feel. So I try to reciprocate what's made me feel good over the years, and what's made me boom, and what's made me burst into a better person. I'll try to reciprocate that, but try to give back to that. Because I tell it before and I'll say it again. There comes a point in your life where you do just give back. You have to give back. You have to start doing right. You have to start making things not irritate you, but at the same time, don't lose your backbone. Walk with pride. You know what I mean? Is that what they tell you? It's not what you're supposed to do. Pride, right? What you really need to do is keep your chin up, your chest up, shoulders back, and then to march forward and learn to smile through the bull. That's what you're supposed to do. Be strong when needed, because people are watching, and when you're strong, they'll see it. And I promise you can change people's lives by speaking to them in ways that you know they've never heard, not because I got to or I need to, is because they must hear it. Things that have changed you can change people. Tell them that story. Give them your testimony. Listen, I don't know what we're going through. I don't know what everybody's going through. I'm not going to understand things like that, right? I'll tell you this much. You'll be surprised what a little conversation does to the soul, to the body, to the heart, to the mind. I don't know. That's that message that I want to give tonight, is spread that kindness for real and be kind. I'm one to talk because every day I struggle with certain things, but yet when I talk to people and I show people something, or I make a video or make a reel or get on YouTube or make a Facebook video or go live, that's really authentic. But me being an asshole and me being a Richard Cranium sometimes, that's authentic too, and the stuff they got to work on. I'm just saying. Let that little bit of kindness go a long way. You'll knock the socks off no matter what goes on. Listen, let's go ahead and move on tonight and get those 13 facts about the Friday the 13th movie brought to you by me from mentalfloss.com. That's mentalfloss.com is where I'm getting this tonight. And we're going to go ahead and start about the bloody facts about Friday the 13th. So get your pen and paper ready or get your memory ready. And some of these you might win a bar bet with. I don't know. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Maybe. All right, let's start here. Let's go ahead and say that the original inspiration for Friday the 13th, the movie, was Halloween. See, it says on the mentalfloss.com that in 1978, producer and director Sean Cunningham was looking for a model that he wanted to build a successful film. So, he was very influenced by the structure of John Carpenter's film. Now, that right there alone can tell you that's pretty cool. So there you go. For the first one, the original inspiration for Friday the 13th was Halloween. Number 2, did you know this film was being advertised before it even had financing? Sounds like something I would do because I'm that passionate about what I believe in. But listen, hoping to drum up that publicity for his project, Cunningham took out an ad in July the 4th of 1979 in the edition of Variety, talking about the show and talking about Georgetown Productions, which helped, produce it, and they worked together. And he even added in there that everybody wanted this film. So he tried, like 1979, he was really going at it and really wanted to, structural film was in place, but they didn't actually agree to finance it, but he still did it, and it was a pipe dream, and it worked, and I'm telling you, that almost didn't happen. Friday the 13th almost didn't happen, the movie, and makes one's mind wonder. What would have happened in this world if we did not have Friday the 13th movie? Would it be the same? Would Halloween's be the same? We'd have Halloween movie, but would the fall and would the autumn weathers be the same without thinking about, I don't know. Let's go ahead and move on to number 3 tonight. Brought to you by mentalfloss.com. That's mentalfloss.com. Check them out tonight. The screenwriter had a different title in mind. Yeah. Friday the 13th was almost not called Friday the 13th. What? What would it be called? Well, listen. Victor Miller originally came up with something else. He was the screenwriter. So when Victor Miller thought about a title, it was not Friday the 13th. It was called, if you're a big fan, then you'll know this, and if not, here you go. Here's the bar bet. The original title of Friday the 13th was called Long Night at Camp Blood. Long Night at Camp Blood. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. Probably still be a movie, but would it be like Long Night at Camp Blood 2, Long Night at Camp Blood 3, and so forth, and I don't know, that's something there. Number 4 on the list tonight, I'm going to tell you this right here is a cool one right here. Many of the special effects were baked in that camp's kitchen. So when they're in the camp and they have the kitchen in there and the kitchen scene, though that's real, all that, many of their stuff was baked there. The one and only Tom Savini is now a makeup effects legend. He is a legend, thanks in part to his work on Friday the 13th. And in making the film, he and the assistant actually ended up using the camp to finalize the special makeup effect. According to Savini, all of those latex appliances ultimately used to create those gruesome murders were baked in pizza ovens at the camp where the movie was filmed. So there you go. Tom Savini, which is a legend in himself. If you guys don't know who he is, look him up. He has done everything from Dusk Till Dawn. You know what? You just look him up. Tom Savini, I'm telling you, you want more information just on that, or even how to spell it, or even hearing that again, how most of them were made at the camp's kitchen, go to mentalfloss.com. That's mentalfloss.com, and I could tell you, exactly what I said, and then you'll find some more information maybe. Anyway, that's kind of cool there. Did you know, number 5, the camp used for filming is still operational to this day. Camp Crystal Lake, it's actually Camp Novi Bosco. It's a fully operational camp, and cast and crew were granted access to after campers left for the summer in 1979. And listen, it is still used today. So maybe they've got to be like something left from the original movie, I'd like to think. Maybe like in one of the rooms or one of the cabins, maybe at Camp Crystal Lake. Well, she said Camp Novi Bosco. I think I'm saying that right. For it to be still used today, it's kind of cool. There got to be something from the film, though, left, like a mask or a statue or an axe or a fake body part or something hanging out. I would. If I was them, I'd definitely put that out somewhere. Or being like, here's the infamous Camp Crystal Lake, and have like one area set up. I think that would be cool. To pay that homage, 1979 to 2024, a long time when you think about it, to still be having an active camp that is now legendary. Anyway, number 6 on tonight, Kevin Bacon was not the film's biggest star at the time of shooting. Though he's without question the biggest name in the movie, now Kevin Bacon hadn't done much prior, Friday 13th, apart from things like a small role in Animal House. That's all he did. At the time, the film's biggest name was Harry Crosby, the son of the recently deceased legendary singer Bing Crosby, who played Bill. So there you go. Kevin Bacon was not the film's biggest star at the time. And a lot of people, anyway. Number 7 here, actress Shelley Winters was the first choice for Miss Voorhees. For the now iconic, super iconic role of Pamela Voorhees, Cunningham and Company went in search of an actress with a recognizable name, and her career was nevertheless on that decline. And, as they say, the rest is history. They considered actresses Louise Lasser and Dorothy Malone right until filming, but ultimately the production wound up with Betsy Palmer in the role. It's kind of cool. You think about it, very cool. Number 8 tonight, I'm going to tell you, due to mentalfloss.com, you can find it at mentalfloss.com. Betsy Palmer took the part so she could buy a new car. Let me tell you something. Look, it says that when Cunningham, the writer, producers, all of it, finally got around to offering Palmer the part of Miss Voorhees, she suddenly found herself in need of cash. After more than a year on Broadway, her car broke down and she drove back to her home in Connecticut. If she had never taken that movie, she hadn't needed the money for a new car. She wouldn't be that star today. Isn't that weird? It's weird how things got on. Palmer actually said that, she said, quote, I got home at 5 in the morning and it was a situation where I desperately needed a new car. If I hadn't needed a car, she would not have done, she does not believe, Friday the 13th. Kind of weird. Think about things are destined for you. Think about things are for you. We just think we chose that, right? Number 9, as I get these facts from mentalfloss.com, that's mentalfloss.com. Number 9, several crew members played the killer before she was actually, Palmer was cast. Even as filming got underway, Cunningham was still looking for an actress to play Miss Voorhees, so many of the early murder scenes were actually shot without Betsy Palmer. Some of the cast and the crew actually played it, and Actually, let me tell you something. There's a part in it where Annie's throat is cut, right? It's early in the film. Special effects also is one that the wielding the knife there. That was not one of them. So that was someone else. That was a stand-in. It was one of the production and the crew members there. Got her throat slashed. Yeah, there you go. You know, I'm just giving you the facts. I didn't write it. Number 10 here tonight. Betsy Palmer gave Miss Voorhees a detailed backstory. See, we have detailed backstories here. So, when she was finally cast, Palmer dove deep into her character as a method actor. She wanted to know more about the character than the audience. And she came up with a backstory that built on the killer's hatred of sexual transgression. Oh, yeah. In her mind, Pamela and Jason had a wedlock with a high school boyfriend, and her parents ultimately disowned her for her sins because that isn't something that good girls do. So she had this backstory that she had to get into. She's a method actor. It made it work for her, and you see what happened there. It's kind of cool. Method actors can be scary. I do know that De Niro, I think, and Tom Cruise are two of the ones that come to. I'm gonna do a show on them. They come to mind when I hear the method acting. Number 11 here tonight. Jason was just a regular kid in the first draft. Yeah, in Victor Miller's original script, the character of Jason Voorhees was basically just a kid who drowned accidentally in Crystal Lake. But financier, however you say it, on set, wanted something much more and brought in screenwriter Ron Kurz for some of the rewrites. And most of that important parts was transforming the tragic boy into the deformed child. When you see the final movie, you understand all this. And I know by now many of us have watched this movie. There's almost no way you can't have. So during filming, number 12 tonight, during filming, the crew was entertained by Lou Reed. Can you imagine that? Because the camp was closed during filming and situated in deep New Jersey woods, the cast and crew didn't see much outside interference. But it turned out they had a very famous neighbor where they were filming. Rock star Lou Reed actually owned a nearby farm. So he kept them company. Found out what was out there in the next to his barn, next to his farm. And of course, you imagine Lou Reed coming out talking to you. Richard Murphy was a guy on set there with an actress on set, production crew and stuff. He said that they got to watch Lou play for free right in front of them while they were making the film. He came to the set and they hung out and around him every day, and he was just a really great guy. I don't know. Something I didn't know there. Excuse me there. All right, number 13, as I finish up these 13 facts for the Friday the 13th, the movie. It's weird. I'm pitching this tonight like it's a big deal. I feel like it's Halloween already. Like it should be Halloween. I'm ready for it. Everybody's ready for it. Don't care who you are. We've had one hellacious winter last year, I think, for some people. And then we moved up to the spring. And the spring was good. The summer has been actually hot. And here lately, a lot of us, especially in these regions, are getting some crappy weather. So I just want some good breeze blowing, windows open, fire weather. Anyway, number 13 tonight to finish up this 13 count. One actor was temporarily blinded by fake blood for the scene in which Bill is killed by those multiple arrows. Y'all remember that scene in Friday the 13th, the movie? One of which lands in his eye. Tom Savini used a fake blood formula that included a wetting agent called PhotoFlow. It was supposed to make the fake blood soak into clothing and make it look more realistic. However, PhotoFlow is not an ingredient used for safe blood. Yeah. Meaning blood is going to encounter that face of the actor for the arrow in the moment a latex was applied to his face along with blood, and that the scene was shot, the blood welled up in his eyes, and it was causing him the intense pain that you knew, that he knew, that we didn't know. It's weird. Very weird. If you want to see and hear more, there are several more of these. mentalfloss.com. You can go to mentalfloss.com. This is where I'm reading these. They're actually tells you several more that I'm leaving out here. I just want to do 13. Yeah. You can check that out. All right, what we got here? 5 minutes of this 30 minutes left. If you are watching, this is how I will carry us out here. If you are watching, and you know that you, right now, are in a way or in such a way that you know that people, you don't want people around. You don't want to be alone, but you don't want to be around people. You know what I'm saying? If you are down and out about anything that you may be feeling, let me tell you something. It's not fair sometimes, life. It's not easy. It's not gonna be easy. This is why I do what I do. All week, I have spoke to someone outside. I haven't really said much about this. Someone wrote me asking for inspiration and asking for help because they were in a situation. And it made me feel in such a way that I almost had to share with people that you can help people. I talk all this kindness, I talk all this, goodness. But literally when you get a message, and that message from somebody is, look, I need to talk to you. And you've never spoke to these people this way. You've never, you got it in your head that I think that I can't do certain things. But when you're asked to give an inspirational word or to give a motivation, and you're really put on the spot there, it changes you. Now, I reciprocate all the good that comes back to me that made me feel such a good way. I try to give that back. I try. Every day I fail. I'm a very transparent person. It's what they call real. And I get a lot of shit for that. And I don't care. Because I know I've come a long way and I know who I am, and I just tell my story because you can't have that testimony until you're tested. So if I'm making somebody smile or if I'm making someone laugh, that's what I will do. But there's so many, I promise you, that they have problems walking out their front door. They have problems walking in their door. And no, it's not because they're drinking. It's because they don't want to be there. Some people don't want to be where the love is supposed to be. And it's hard. Some people get pushed away by other family members. Some people have relationship problems. I could go on and on and on and on, and it's none of it is actually different. We go through situations different, but we all have the same thing going on. And what do we have going on? We want survival. We want goodness. So if you're watching, and you are the one who has talked to me all week, I will tell you this. There's messages in everything. Don't give up. You're so much stronger than you'll ever know. You're so much, such a person growing and such an individual of learning. So share that. I tell you what, I challenge you. Find whatever has made you feel good. Whatever's changed in your life to make you turn over a new leaf. To make you want to do better. Find that. Tell that story. How you were tested. And you've now got that testimony. And don't be afraid to tell somebody, because they see that as progression and they see that as hope. I can bullshit you all I want, and I can go up and down and around and just be completely, clown, right? That's what I am. I'm a clown. But I know enough to know that sometimes the clown cries and you have to share it. Guys, that's all I've got tonight for. Let me tell you something again. If you are wanting to fill any such ways and read more up on the tips and the tricks and the hints that I've got, go to mentalfloss.com. I'm plugging them tonight because that's what I'm doing. That's where I'm getting the information from. And mentalfloss.com. All right, what are those 3 words that I say week after week after week to take us out? I don't know what to say. Oh, yeah. Love, peace, chicken grease. Later, guys. Thanks for watching.